All right, so thank you for those tallies. Up next, we share with you more information about Korea's COVID-19 situation. And for that purpose, today I have SHIN Ye-EUN in the studio. Ye-EUN, welcome.
Glad to be here, Sunny.
Right, so despite the rebounding cases on this Tuesday, authorities assert Korea's COVID-19 situation is retreating. Right, Ye-EUN?
That's right. That's right. As always, if we use the number of average daily cases, severely ill patients, and deaths as an indicator of just how severe the COVID-19 situation is, well, all these barometers have come down compared to a few weeks ago. The country's 7-day average is hovering between 280 and 290,000 cases, which is a big drop from a month ago when the figure surpassed 400,000. We're also expecting to see a downward trend in the number of severely ill patients and deaths this week. After reaching a height of 1,315 critical cases last month, that figure has dropped to the 1,100 range. The daily death toll is also on the decline compared to last month, when we saw an average of roughly 360 weekly deaths. Authorities had once forecasted 800 weekly deaths in the worst-case scenario, but now they believe this is unlikely to happen. The lower-than-expected numbers are being attributed to the Omicron variant's low fertility rate and the government's prioritization of treatment for high-risk patients, whether that would be distributing more COVID-19 pills or making wider treatment options available.
I see. Meanwhile, Ye-EUN, what has been the public response to recent ease in social restrictions starting this past Monday?
Well, Sunny, yesterday I went to the streets of Gangnam to hear what people had to say about the latest rules. Honestly, I expected many to be excited given that they could meet more of their friends and stay out for longer. Now, while some did say that they were excited, others begged to differ. Now, here's a recap of the views and opinions that people shared with me yesterday. With South Korea ready to treat the pandemic like an endemic, authorities have again adjusted the social distancing measures. They took effect on Monday, but at a time when the country had already added over 202,000 new infections by 6 p.m., up by more than 90,000 from the same time a day ago. But Monday's easing of measures are hoped to be the final stage of social distancing before antivirus curbs are lifted altogether. With gatherings of 10 now allowed and business curfews pushed back to 12 midnight, how are people reacting to the latest modifications?
I didn't even know they eased measures again on Monday. I don't think it's that significant anymore either because antivirus measures have changed way too much.
I'm happy that I can meet my friends for an extra hour. Because back when restaurants and cafes could only open till 11 p.m., some of my friends who live far away had to go home really early or couldn't even make it.
The nation's small business owners made it clear that only a partial easing isn't enough. They said they would have preferred it if all measures were lifted completely. More specifically, they hoped there wasn't any sort of curfew.
While restaurants and cafes may stay open for an extra hour, this doesn't mean they will be able to operate. Most employees who use public transportation have to leave before midnight anyways because there aren't any subways or buses that run late into the night.
I hope the authorities will soon ease all distancing measures because business owners like myself are way too exhausted. We can't endure this situation any longer.
The authorities are expected to reassess the measures in 2 weeks before making another announcement. Many are now hoping that this is the final modification to the distancing rules before all measures are lifted completely.
Right, indeed, Ye-EUN. There are high hopes that these latest measures will be the last set of such restrictions. And that being said, authorities are taking steps to transition into a new normal. Right, Ye-EUN?
That's right. With COVID-19 on its way to becoming an endemic disease, health authorities here are considering even shorter quarantine periods for those infected. As of now, people are required to self-isolate for 7 whole days after testing positive, and local hospitals and clinics are also being allowed to provide in-person treatment for COVID-19 patients, which used to be the exclusive domain of large medical centers in the past. Another change being considered is allowing COVID-19 patients to to leave isolation for the purpose of picking up their medication from pharmacies. As of now, delivery services are being provided to people living alone without anyone to get their medication. Also from today, the price ceiling on self-test kits will be lifted. The Ministry of Food and Drug Safety had set a price cap of 6,000 won per kit, which is around $5 to stop price gouging and ensure stable supplies. Authorities had also limited the sale of test kits to take place strictly offline at pharmacies and convenience stores only. Now, this particular measure will last until the end of this month.
I see. All right, Ian. Thank you for now. Do stay for more talks.